There's only been a handful of 6-inch smartphones that's ever emerged in the smartphone arena, namely the decidedly mid-range Samsung Galaxy Mega, the Asus Zenfone 6, and the recently released Lenovo Fab Plus. Sony also had one back in 2011, the more high-end Xperia Z Ultra. Fast forward 4 years later, we have another monstrous 6-inch device entering the battlefield from the Japanese company, the Xperia C5 Ultra. A gigantic phone that's not as gigantic as you think. My name is the Mohawk Guy. Stay tuned guys, because today we're going to take a deeper look into the C5 Ultra. It's a no-brainer. It's a blown-up version of the Z5, or pretty much every other Sony smartphone. As much as I would like to see that, it wouldn't be fair to the C5 because it does pull its own weight in terms of design. Its design language is typical Sony affair: tall, black, sleek with smooth edges. It doesn't scream high-end, but it does look elegant. Build quality is solid. The metal band surrounding the phone's sides feel premium, and the glossy back complements it, making it feel more premium than what the price suggests. Though I wish the volume rocker on the side, including its 2-stage camera button, had a little more tactile feel to them, as they are a bit too mushy. There's an earpiece up front and a front-facing speaker on the bottom chin of the device, which makes video watching a pleasure as the sound is directed towards you. On the back of the phone, you have Sony's logo and the Xperia branding near to the bottom of the phone. The C5 Ultra is more upper tier mid-range, which the specs reflects. The enormous 6-inch screen is of an IPS display with a resolution of 1080 by 1920, that's Full HD for the uninitiated, a beefy 64-bit MediaTek 6752 octa-core processor clocked at 1.7 GHz based on the ARM A53 architecture, a Mali T760 MP2 GPU clocked at 550 MHz, 2 GB of low-power DDR3 RAM for all your multitasking needs, and a massive 2,950 mAh sealed-in battery which performs extraordinarily well. A 13-megapixel f2.0 XLR Sony sensor sits at the back of the phone, and get this, a 13-megapixel autofocus camera with flash on the front, sitting behind an incredibly wide 22mm lens for your group selfie needs. I know you must be wondering, why did Sony pick MediaTek? Why not the Snapdragon 615 from Qualcomm? Well, I'll get to that part in a little bit. On the software front, Sony decided to stick with a 2-generation-old version of Android, that is Android 5.0 Lollipop. Maybe it's just me nitpicking, but I wish Sony at least went for Android 5.1.1 out of the box. Sitting on top of Lollipop is Sony's own Xperia skin, which looks more stock Android with its 2-stage material-looking notification bar and its card-based multitasking view. The bloatware that came with the phone was just atrocious. A lot of people complained on how much bloat the Zenfone 2 came with. Well guys, it's way worse on the C5 Ultra. But that's not to say there is no hope. Unlike the Zenfone 2 with its disable-only bloatware, you can completely uninstall all the bloat that the C5 Ultra comes with. I'm pretty sure you're still bummed out as to why Sony chose MediaTek instead of Qualcomm. Let me reassure you that it is actually a better choice. I personally am not a believer in benchmarks, but to show you how much better the 6752 chipset over the 615 is, I used the Vivo X5 Max, which I already reviewed, links in the description below, with its 615 chipset clocked at 1.5 GHz for comparison. Here are the scores. Great! Now that the benchmarks are done, moving to everyday usage. The C5 Ultra feels very robust, with no lag to be found while scrolling through the home screen. Apps opened up very quickly, and switching from one app to the other was lightning quick. Thus far, I have yet to encounter any glitches or hiccups, which are currently absent on the C5 Ultra. The 6-inch IPS Full HD screen is a real joy to use. It's big. The slim bezels make it feel as though the screen is floating when you're watching videos. The colors of the screen do look a bit washed out, but thanks to Sony's Mobile Bravia engine and Super Vivid mode, videos get a bit more punch to them. Thanks to its wafer-thin bezels, navigating around the phone is still manageable in one hand. But if you have really small hands, you can toggle one-handed mode via this gesture. Sound quality from the front-facing single driver speaker is adequate. Volume gets very loud, reaching up to 95 decibels. But, like all other smartphones, it lacks the low-end kick, which does make it sound rather tinny. I do not game much on phones, but the benchmark scores should give you an idea on how well it should perform on heavy gaming. The 13-megapixel camera on the back of the C5 Ultra is nothing special. That's not to say it's bad, but it's the kind of boring that we come to expect, with sharp photos in good lighting and noisier photos in lower light conditions, which all smartphones suffer from. The software bundled with the camera is typical Sony, with a plethora of shooting modes to choose from, and more options to download from Sony's store, should you need to. The spotlight stealer here is the front-facing camera. It would be easier for me to say Sony pasted the back sensor to the front side camera, but fortunately, that's not the case here. This is, hands down, the best selfie experience I have ever had. The front-facing flash really works well in lower light conditions without overexposing the shot, and the autofocus helps in creating a bokeh effect. The C5's battery life is nothing short of spectacular, posting 4 hours and 41 minutes of screen on time in the span of 17 hours after I have plowed through YouTube, web browsing, Facebook, Twitter, So, conclusion time. The Xperia C5 Ultra is not for people who want the best of the best in a smartphone, because this is not the best smartphone. It is a media consumption smartphone for people who want to consume media on the go and for those who love taking selfies. This is the blunt truth. But that's not to say it can't handle your productivity needs as well. Thanks to its big screen, editing documents on the fly is very easy. Thanks to its relatively low price, I can easily recommend this phone to anyone who is on a tight budget but is looking for a device that has a great bang for your buck value. Thanks for watching this review, guys. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and if it helped you in shopping for a phone. Comment down below if you have any questions to ask me and if there's anything I was unclear of. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to check my channel for other cool videos. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter as well, @AJepin. Have a good day, guys.